What's up everyone, Simon here from CD Revival, and today I'm going to do something a bit different, something I've sort of promised to do for a while, and that's going to be, I'm going to show off my CD collection, so show you all the goods and show you how I've got it set up. It's not perfect, to be honest with you, but space is a bit of an issue. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll go around all the racks and show you everything that, you know, goes on. And you can have a look just for shits and giggles, really. So we will crack on with that. I've got about 1900 CDs now. I have been collecting since I was probably, I don't know, 18, 17, 18. Have got rid of a lot of stuff over the years. Used to have a lot of vinyl, got rid of a lot of that. Well, pretty much all of that, really. And cassettes, I've got rid of all the cassettes, and I used to have absolutely tons of those. So over the recent years, I've been sort of getting back the stuff that I did have, trying to get back, yeah, basically old cassettes and vinyl and CDs that I got rid of in the past. And it's starting to come together. So yeah, up to about 1900, but there's still loads that I want to get. Some that are I wish I'd never got rid of, that are proving quite tricky to come by these days. So yeah, without further ado, I will show you around. So yeah, it starts off on this side of the room. These are my first two racks that I've got here. You can see I've got a couple of box sets on the top. I've got the Judas Priest complete albums collection there. Dire Straits complete albums collection. This one I picked up recently, and this is Paul Hardcastle. I don't know if you're familiar with his stuff, but it's kind of electro stuff from the 80s, and that's basically a 4-disc set which I picked up a couple of weeks ago. I've been trying to get his first album for quite a while, but it's very expensive. So this one was about £20. So 19 was the biggest track that he did. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you will remember that if you're old enough. But yeah, big fan of his. And AC/DC backtracks on the top there. Then we go into this rack here. If I stretch back, you can kind of see it there like that. So yeah, I've got them kind of alphabetical, but not in like full alphabetical order because life's too short for that. But all the A's are together, all the B's, etc. So it starts off with the A's, and you can see there I've got AC/DC, goes down, so yeah, pretty much all of their stuff. Then we go into Aerosmith there, and then we've got a few other bits, Accept, End of Aerosmith, Alice in Chains, pretty much all of their stuff. Anthrax, pretty much all of their stuff. Going down, we have got things like Audio Slave, Version, Annihilator, and some other bits. Then we go into Aphex Twin, Adamski, things like that. And at the bottom, we've got the Almighty, Arctic Monkeys, the Carpet, Airborne, things like that. So I tend to sort of start at the top and then go down, and then we've got some more A's at the top of the next rack. So Avenged Sevenfold. Then we're into B, so we've got Beastie Boys, which I'm a big fan of. License to Ill's missing there, that's in the car. So yeah, pretty much most of their stuff. Beatles, which I've got a few gaps in the collection. Blue Murder at the end there as well. Then we have Sabbath, once again, a few gaps, mainly the Tony Martin stuff, which is honestly quite hard to get hold of at the moment. So there is talk of them reissuing that, so I'll pick them up when they become available. We've got Beck and Bullet Boys and some other stuff there, Bullet for My Valentine. Then we have Black Label Society, got all of their albums, some stuff by Biffy Clyro, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but you do seem to come across them in charity shops. And at the bottom here, you've got Black Crows, which I've got pretty much everything up until the Lions album, excuse me. And then Biohazard there, the great band, seen them live, really good stuff. Most of their stuff, I think. A couple from the Birds. So that's basically those two black racks. Then we go into over here. I've got a few Iron Maiden sort of book case kind of things, and the most recent Legacy of the Beast, Knights of the Dead, which is pretty cool. And then we go into these shelves, which I actually made myself ineptly. They're not the best, but they do a job. Still on B then, so we've got some James Brown, Body Count, a bunch of Bon Jovi stuff there. And then we go along, we've got some Bjork, we've got the Badlands, couple of albums of theirs, Black Dahlia Murder, Behemoth. And then we're into David Bowie, which I've got a fair few bits of his. There's plenty of gaps there. He has done a bunch of albums. Still on B, next shelf, some Blur bits which I've picked up fairly recently. Butthole Surfers, Britney Fox. Then we go into C, there's Cannibal Corpse. Fair few of their albums. Looking forward to their new album this month. I think it's out on the 22nd of September, so looking forward to that. Alice Cooper there. A few bits missing from his kind of like late 70s period really, but got quite a bit of his stuff. Still going down into C, more C's. And we've got Cypress Hill, Cinderella, Corrosion of Conformity. Sorry, went off the thing there. Phil Collins, Cradle of Filth. Chemical Brothers, Children of Bodom, Crowbar, etc., etc. And then we have Eric Clapton, Johnny Cash, Jerry Cantrell, The Cult, Carcass, and The Cure, basically, amongst some other stuff. Then we go into D. We've got Bruce Dickinson's solo stuff, which I think all of his solo albums are pretty decent. Dragon Force, Decapitated. Next row of D's, pretty much all of Dio's solo stuff, or Dio band should I say. Couple from the Doors, quite a bit of Bob Dylan there. Danzig, yeah, most of the stuff, a few of his later things that I don't have. Def Leppard, pretty much most of their stuff. Dream Theater, quite a lot of their stuff, pretty much all of the stuff where Mike Portnoy was involved. Dog Eat Dog, saw them supporting Biohazard, they're a cool band. And Down, Phil Anselmo's, one of his spin-off bands. Next we go down and we have Deep Purple, the Gillan stuff mainly, and a couple from the Coverdale era, which is probably my favourite era. Although I was listening to Made in Japan Today, still a classic album. We've got Dred Zeppelin there, a really cool band. Their first album, Darkness, Damn Yankees, Doro, Dimmu Borgir. Some Depeche Mode stuff, a couple of Death albums as well, which are a bit harder to get hold of. Downset, Dan Reed Network, Duran Duran, Daft Punk, and some other bits and pieces. Finishing off Dark Throne, Datsuns. Then we start to go into E, so Extreme, their first 4 albums. And then we go down and we have got, we're getting near the floor here, Exodus, Enough's Enough, are a really cool sort of glam band. Really quite a fan of their stuff. Electric Light Orchestra, Earth, Wind and Fire, Europe, Fantomas, Faster Pussycat, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and a few other bits. Faith No More, who I'm a big fan of. Pretty much got all of their stuff apart from the first album, and some Foo Fighters. I haven't got their more recent stuff, not even listened to their most recent album. Kind of did get a bit bored of them after a while, but yeah, they were a decent band, I thought, for a while. Down to the bottom, Green Day, most of their albums. Guns N' Roses, pretty much all the stuff they've done. We've got Peter Gabriel, And we have got Good Charlotte, Ghost as well, and Genesis, some stuff of theirs. And then we go into the H's, which is like the Haunted to start off with. House of Pain we've got there, Glenn Hughes solo album. So that's it for this side of the room basically. And we'll go to the other side. Okay, this is the other side of the room. Can't really get it all in one picture. But that is it. We'll go through this. Starts off on the top here. I've got some Prince Blu-rays actually. I've got a lot of Prince stuff, obviously most of his stuff. So I've got DVDs and I've got them all on Blu-ray as well. A couple of singles there. And then carrying on with the H's. Halford, Happy Mondays, Jimi Hendrix, Hatebreed, album from Heart. And we've got Helmet, Halloween. There's quite a few of their albums, some stuff from Ice Cube, Ice-T, Billy Idol. Then we go into Maiden. Pretty much all of their stuff, to be honest with you. Big fan of Maiden, as you will know if you've seen my channel. So yeah, most of Maiden's albums and pretty much most of their live stuff as well. Carries on down here. We've got Jamiroquai, Michael Jackson, the Jacksons, etc. Then we're into Judas Priest. Got some of their stuff, there's stuff that's not in the box set, and a couple of doubles. The Ripper Owens stuff, which isn't in the box set also. The Jam, a couple of from Elton John, and Billy Joel. If this one I couldn't actually fit in the shelf, so I need to have a bit of a rejig, which is, you know, a common problem. What else we got down here? Jean-Michel Jarre. And then we're into K, which is King's X. Kanye West, Kool and the Gang. We go up. Next shelf. Sitting on the top, I've got the Metallica Live Ship Binge and Purge. And then we're into more K's. Kraftwerk, Kid Rock, Lenny Kravitz. And we're into Kiss. Pretty much all of their stuff. Obviously there's a few compilations that I don't have. They have done a ton. So yeah, there's Kiss, more Kiss. One of my favourite bands of all time. Kiss finishes off there. Then we've got Korn, King Diamond. And then looks like we're going to L. So we've got LL Cool J, Living Colour, Life of Agony, Limp Bizkit, who get a bit of a bad rep, but I was listening to a couple of their albums recently and they're actually pretty good, not too bad at all really. Linkin Park, LA Guns, quite a big fan of as well, Level 42, Led Zeppelin, yeah, good, obviously classic band. Love Hate, really good band. Last Shadow Puppets, really cool. Masters of Reality, Paul McCartney, Municipal Waste. Then we have Metallica, not the band they used to be, but obviously still pretty decent. Haven't got their most recent album. I've listened to it a bunch of times, but not really caught me. Then we've got M's, Morrissey, Michael Monroe, Man of War, a couple from Marillion, Gary Moore, and then My Chemical Romance, a couple from Moby, Monster Magnet. Back up we go. Machine Head. Megadeth now starts here. I've got most of their stuff. I've got like the original versions and the remastered of all the stuff that was remastered. More Megadeth there. Marilyn Manson, all of his albums. And then we have Motorhead, pretty much all of their albums. More Motorhead there. Muse, who I quite like in small doses. Black Holes and Revelations, probably their best album. That's really, really good. Then we have Ministry, Mantronics, Mr. Bungle. Got all of their stuff. Really quite big fan of theirs. Manic Street Preachers next. Massive Attack. A couple from Madonna. Still in M, we've got all the Motley Crue albums, all the studio albums anyway. First 4 from Morbid Angel. Nirvana, Nuclear Assault, NWA, Nail Bomb, really cool offshoot band with Max Cavalera. 9 Inch Nails, all of their studio stuff, a couple of live ones, singles, etc. Massive fan of them. Then we're into O, and down the bottom here we've got Opeth and The Offspring, and obviously Tubular Bells. Then on the top of this one, this is basically all my Prince stuff, so you can see the deluxe Sign of the Times one there. Ravens to Joy, fantastic. There's Purple Rain sat on top there, CD single, and pretty much all of his albums. Deluxe 1999. Obviously massive fan of Prince, did start to do some videos but they weren't massively popular, so kind of left it. If you want those brought back, let me know. Ozzy, all of his stuff, I think all of his live albums as well. Then we have Oasis studio albums, got some Orb and Orbital, so that's electronic stuff. Oasis singles. And then we're into P, so we've got Pantera, Pearl Jam, Prong, Paradise Lost. And then we're into Public Enemy, really big fan of theirs. Public Image Limited, Primal Scream, Prodigy, we've got the box set of Parliament, the Police as well, and Poison, Pink Floyd, and then we've got Primus, Iggy Pop, things like that. This one I've left a bit of space because you have to leave a little bit of space for growth, but this is where Q starts, a couple from the Choir Boys and Quiet Riot, Greatest Hits. Then we go down to Queens of the Stone Age and Queensryche, and start off with Queen as well, and then the bottom row is the rest of the Queen stuff that I've got, so most of their output, to be fair, not all their live stuff mind you. Then we're into R, and we've got Rage Against the Machine, Rainbow, Radiohead. Then we've got Rolling Stones, and a few other random bits there. And then we go into Red Hot Chili Peppers, pretty much all of their stuff. Reservoir Dogs soundtrack there on the end. Then we have Rammstein, Rise Against, a couple of other random bits, and then David Lee Roth, Rush, Run DMC. As you can see, they're not in complete alphabetical order. Then we go on to the S's, which is where I am now, going through the actual collection properly. So it starts off with Smashing Pumpkins, Slaughter, Seal, then Steel Panther, Sisters of Mercy, Sex Pistols, that was in my last video. There's my Scorpion stuff, which I'm going to be doing a ranking on fairly shortly, and Stone Roses as well, who everyone said they didn't like on the last video. Sum 41, Soulfly, then we have Slipknot, Shotgun Messiah, really good band also. Stone Temple Pilots as well. And then we have System of a Down, Snoop Dogg, things like Slick Rick, Simple Minds as well. And right down the bottom here, Stone Sour, Snot, Satriani, and some other bits there. So we have 2 shelves left. At the top here, got Slayer, Soundtrack to the Apocalypse, and the Repentless Blu-ray edition, and my Public Image Limited tin box, metal box should I say. A couple of other bits on here, Peeping Tom album, and also a Far Beyond Driven box for the CD, but it didn't fit in the shelf, so I had to leave that out. So carrying on with the S's, we've got SOD and the Smiths, and here we've got Sepultura, Soundgarden, Silverchair, Suicidal Tendencies, Status Quo, Skid Row, Saxon here, not all their stuff, they've done absolutely loads of albums, but got a fair few. Then Slayer, did do a ranking of them, one of the first rankings that I did actually, so pretty much all of their stuff. And then Strokes, things like Spread Eagle, Suede as well, Sonic Youth, one album of theirs. That we're into T, Tenacious D, Trivium, big fan of Trivium actually. And then we have Testament, I think I'm only missing 1 or 2 of theirs. And Tesla as well on the end there. Twisted Sister, Typo Negative. And then we have Tomahawk, Tool, who are a really good band as well. Tough and Therapy. And then we have Thin Lizzy, Tad, a couple of other bits as well. And then at the bottom, The. And then we are into U, which starts with U2, mainly U2 to be honest with you. So one more set of shelves to go, and starts off with the rest of the U2 stuff, and we have UFO as well there, Ugly Kid Joe, then we're into V, so Steve Vai, Vane, Velvet Revolver, Van Halen, most of their stuff I've got. I think I haven't got the one with Gary Sharon on it. Pretty much all their other studio stuff I have got. V finishing off with Vince Neil, Voivod, Vinnie Vincent Invasion, Stevie Ray Vaughan. And we're into W with White Stripes, all of their albums, White Lion, a few of theirs, not the biggest fan of theirs, White Zombie, Warrior Soul there on the right. A couple from Ween, Wonder Stuff, Weezer, Andrew WK. And then we have the Wild Hearts, Wolfsbane, Wolf Mother, and then some Warrant stuff and some Winger stuff and a couple from The Who. And then we have Whitesnake, pretty much all of their stuff. Quite a big fan. They're the first proper decent band that I ever saw live, Whitesnake. Then Wasp, I've seen them as well, saw them on the Electric Circus tour. Pretty much all of their stuff. And that continues down there. So then we've got Couple in X, which is Zentrix, basically. Y is basically Y and T and Yes. And then Z, we've got Rob Zombie, we have got ZZ Top, we've got Zodiac, Mind Warp, and Zwan, which is Billy Corgan's spin-off band when the Pumpkins split up first time. And then right at the bottom we have my Frank Zappa smallish collection. Once again, he's done about 50 million albums. So yeah, that was that. That's basically my entire collection. Very quickly run through. And yeah.